It's live. Welcome.
I can't stand you.
It wasn't even 2 seconds in. We already started.
OMG.
Alrighty then.
So, welcome to Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. I'm Tony Breedlove, and of course, I'm joined by the lovely, the vivacious, the incomparable Miss Yvonne Baker. And then there is Chris.
That's right.
The very handsome Chris Smith is with us again tonight. He is going to be a fixture here, like a bad penny that will never go away.
to get a negative slap right off the back. I mean, Tony, I don't think anybody could have done it any better than you. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Tony Breedlove. Most shit talking than most people on the radio show. And then the Miss Lovely Yvonne talks more shit than everybody in the world, but all at the same time. Thank you, ladies, for having us, and it's been a wonderful night so far. 2 seconds on to the show. Should we start over?
No, we too far in to start over. So anyway, so tonight's show, we are talking about the in-charge woman, the bossy woman, and is that really what men want, or is that what they want, or is it that they can't stand that? So that's what we're going into tonight, everybody. So I do want to welcome first Miss Jacqueline. She has already stepped into the room.
Miss Jacqueline. Always on. You know we love her.
Good to see you, Miss Jacqueline. So I'm sure people will be joining in pretty soon, but as we speak, I am now put up the show on my personal page for those folks that are being lazy, that don't want to go over to the show on Hot Topics Talk Radio. So I know that we kind of tweaked tonight's topic, Miss Yvonne.
Yes, ma'am.
What? I don't even know how we settled on this. But I know when I said something about bossy in the title, you said, yeah, that's me. Explain.
You know what? Actually, we've talked about relationships, who's the man, who's the woman, how the woman acts in a relationship. But it just kind of occurred to me that we have never really talked about if men like us being bossy. And, I'm a bossy bitch. and I'm proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
I earned that title.
Okay, I'm glad you say you earned it. How does one earn being a bossy bitch?
Yes, Miss Yvonne, how?
I have ran my own household.
Okay.
I have assisted in running a business.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have raised kids by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Have provided, protected,
mm-hmm.
Okay,
and hopefully pleased my kids.
Okay.
So,
okay.
In the interim of birth to adulthood, I had to be the boss. I had to be the one in command. I had to be the person that the kids go to. I had, and still going to, and so I earned that title.
So basically, what you're saying is a boss, and I ain't gonna call it the B word. So the boss woman is really someone that has their life together in pretty much every aspect of their life, whether it be financial, mentally, I don't know, the other areas, but basically she can just handle her own no matter what situation she's in.
Yeah, you don't really have to be financially. Everybody struggles.
Well, I only said that because you started off with the financial part, and where I know most women, when they call themselves boss, it's normally stemming from that field first. So they'll say, I have a great career, or I make this amount of money, or stuff like that. So that was one of the things that I kind of noticed right off the bat was the financial side. So most women usually feel superior when their money is pretty long.
My money is not long. It's not even pretty long, but I mean, I can hold my own, and
Okay.
it's taken me a while to get to a point where I don't have to ask anybody for anything. So it's but as far as being financially secure, I don't think anybody's financially secure unless you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
So then
Mhm.
my question is, so then name three things that are a requirement for a woman to call herself a boss.
I just did. Were you listening?
No, but I said name three things. I didn't say run your mouth.
I just
I
did.
ain't say run your mouth. I
Listening.
said name three things.
I think I named about five of them.
Okay. Let's do this again, Miss Yvonne, because see, fellas, this is what happens when you have a boss female. They run
That's
their mouth too much too. That's also another
and
problem
see,
as
and that's
well.
when you have insubordinates talking always yak 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 instead of listening.
Insubordinates. Insubordinates. Girl, I don't work for you.
Yes, you do. My name is before yours.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Hey,
what I just
congratulations.
what did I just tell you before the show? I'm on top. The shit rolls down. Okay.
Oh, hell.
Hey, Tony. We're not gonna let her run her jokes twice. Okay? You only get a one-time go around. You can't throw jokes twice. They don't work the second time
I
around.
just did. I just did.
But anyways, like I was saying,
Anyway,
for most women,
first of
what
all,
would you say is a like top three things that you at least have to be called a boss woman?
you have to be secure within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what you're doing when you're running your household, running your business, running your whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be in command of things.
Okay.
You can't be a little wussy and think you're the boss and let somebody else tell you what to do. You should be
No,
able
no, that's right.
to. You should be able to delegate.
I hear that. How you feel about that, Tony? Because she almost named four things.
Well,
I
actually,
agree.
well, actually, that was probably about seven because you didn't hear the first four or five that I named.
Hey, and Yvonne, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. When most women like you talk too much, I tune most of it out. You only got about a little bit of time to get most of that in before I shut it down.
See, that's why you are what you are, and I'm what I am.
What the
What
hell
is
is
that?
that?
What is he?
He don't listen. He's all mouth.
Yvonne, see, and see that's where most went from a man's
See,
perspective,
and
because
that's
I
why.
think most men, see how I had to shut it down again. I think most men are comfortable with a woman that is strong, but to a certain extent. So
So they
there has to
want
be
weak women?
no, because I mean, but I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of times most men don't really know what they want right off the bat. So it's kind of like they have to go through certain situations to see what they like. So they might get a weaker woman and they'll run all over her and then get tired of her and not want to be with her no more. Then they'll get a strong woman and it's like, well, wait a minute. My last chick used to let me get away with this, and you running your mouth every time I even just do this. And then they scared away because it's kind of like she's too aggressive, she's too tough. I can't do what I want to do. That's why I said there's like a fine line when it comes to a woman being strong, because at the end of the day, just because you know how to take the back seat, sometimes it don't make you weak. It make you smart. It helps you to
Mhm.
understand your
But
situation and who you're with.
okay, so let's put this in perspective.
Okay.
I know my place as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to a point where where this woman has to take over, I can do that. I have the ability to outthink some men.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, but I know that I know that I am a woman, and a woman. Damn, I can't even get it out. A woman has
It's bullshit. That's why. But go ahead.
no, a woman has to let the man be the man.
Right.
Well,
And
it's not about letting.
Or let
It's
him think he's the man. He's being the
it's
man.
not even.
Yes,
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. When you have a real man that understands how to carry himself, you don't have to let him. You're allowing him to do his role. It's not about letting.
Tomatoes,
Like you're
tomatoes,
not.
same thing.
Okay, there's a
so wait.
difference.
So Brian says, with all that strength, don't try and run all over him. So are you trying to run over the man?
No, I'm not trying to run over
Right.
the man. But in turn, I'm not going to let him try and run over me.
Well, see, that's the thing. And see, when you said tomato, learn to listen to certain things before you
said,
shut it down.
oh, I said let.
Well, watch. When I say let, that means you're having to take the back seat because you're like, okay, let me watch this fool to see if he gonna do it the way he's supposed to. I already know what to do, but I just want to see if he gonna do it right. Whereas I say allow, meaning you already know he knows what he needs to do, and instead of you stepping up and just doing it, you see that you already know that he has it. So you step back and allow him to do his role.
I step back and I let him do what he's supposed to be doing.
So see, but that's a control issue right there, and that's what
But
I'm
that
saying. You
doesn't.
can't call a man weak.
But didn't
You
I
can't
just
call a
say
man
that
weak.
I am a person that I have to draw myself back because I am a controlling woman.
Right.
So I have to pull myself back to allow the man to be the man.
Well, why is
Well,
that?
you're not letting him be a man. You are basically allowing him to lead you. He's the lead. Basically, you're not allowing him to be a man. He's going to be a man no matter what. But he takes the role and the lead.
Well, okay. Well, see, that's why I'm still single.
I'm glad you said it, and I didn't have to say it.
No, you know what? I don't try to fool myself.
Well, hold on. But real quick though, you guys, like I really want to help with this because it's the thing. You said that you're so used to doing everything. So the problem is you're saying, well, I have to do this. I have to do this. Well, the problem is you done got so far out of your lane, you don't really know where your lane is anymore.
I am programmed. I have spent a whole bunch of years being in control of everything.
Okay.
So now I have to once I get with the person that is I feel that I can trust to lead me, then I'm willing to step back and do that. But in the meantime, I'm still in that mode. I've still got that mode going on in me. So
you know the only problem I have with it though.
What?
Only problem I have with it is okay. So let's just say like what we're doing right here. We talk to a lot of young men. We talk to a lot of older men, a lot of young women, older women. And my thing is this: if you're talking to a young woman, what advice would you give her when it comes to how to or what kind of man she's looking for? Because that would be a little scary for me coming from your perspective because you're painting a picture of something that might not be that true for her.
It's like my daughter. My daughter and I have conversations. Thank God we're at that point where we can talk.
Right.
But we have that conversation, and my advice to her is first thing I tell her is I'm single. So I really can't give you everything that you need to know about um, finding the right man or being with the right man. But if you find somebody that is treating you with respect, that is providing for you and your kids, and that you feel like you can trust, get to know him, and then go with your gut.
Okay.
So I'm really not a woman that can go and give another young woman advice, because I have basically not only had to raise myself,
Hmm.
so I had to be very intuitive about what I did.
You know
I
what's
had to
nice
be
about
very
what you just did right
responsible.
now? You were very honest about that. And that's something I can really appreciate. And, even for the people that are watching, they should appreciate that as well, because you have a lot of women that have your same mindset, but they try to put their opinions and their life on other young ladies. And that's why you have a lot of young ladies that don't believe in men, or think they all ain't shit and all that kind of stuff. And it's not to say that there aren't a lot of men that aren't shit, because yes, there are.
Yes,
And
they are.
today there's you look at just the way most people are raised, the values just aren't there. And like I said, I feel for a lot of young ladies, because those common core values that our parents put into us are dying away.
Well, they
And
don't have anybody to teach those core
well,
values.
yeah, but
When you
but
talk
we
about
also have to be
roles.
honest. It's not just with the men; it's with the women too.
Well, that's
That's
either way, it doesn't matter. People aren't being taught that. Young people don't understand that there is a law and order of roles
right.
of men and women. They don't understand that because now the generations have not been taught that, and
Mm-hmm.
they're having children, you know. So,
Because I know,
But
like I
yeah,
said, I make a lot of jokes about stuff like that. Because I don't trust me. I run across a lot of strong women that have all that mouth and have a lot to say. And the first thing I say is, "Yeah, and I bet that dildo real lonely when you be at home, ain't it?" I know about the late night. I wish, and it would be nice. It'd be nice you shut the hell up too, so you can have that relationship. But until you learn how to shut the hell up, you're gonna keep being by yourself.
sometimes I do, believe it or not. Unlike you, I do know when to shut my mouth up.
Bullshit, but okay.
I really
she
do.
got you.
But you know, my thing with my daughter is that she can call me and ask me anything, and we will talk it out.
Yeah.
Even with my boys, they, if it's something that they want to know, they call me, and I really can't. I don't feel comfortable giving advice
Right.
because of the place I'm in.
I can understand
But
that.
we can talk it out. I can say, well, you know what? I think this and this and that, and they will come back with what they think, and then, you know, in the long run, it's going to be their decision.
So let me ask you a question, because both of you ladies a question, because you have very strong opinions about men and how they are and where they lack. So my question is, as mothers, what did you do differently with your sons?
You want to go first? You want
So
me to go first?
go ahead. My jaws are tired.
So my thing was with raising.
Girl, don't never admit that online,
Oh,
but go
shut
ahead.
up! I just thought about what I said.
I thought that it was most important that he understood that there has to be a respect for women.
Mhm.
You have to have a respect for women, and it's not to say that you will allow women to run over you. Because
Mhm.
he's dated some girls, that I thought the hell, and I had to kind of pull his coattail,
Yeah.
because either they wanted to use him or they wanted to treat him badly or even go as far as emasculating him, whether it be behind closed doors or in public. That
Mhm.
that couldn't go on. It could not go
Right.
on. And I understand that, the generations, have changed, but still the roles and the level of respect and morality and values, those are still
Yeah.
the same. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, how you display it. But with him, it was always and still is. You still have to respect women. You have to respect women. You can't, knock them upside the head. And just because they are women, you can't mistreat them and think that they are a weaker sex, because women are not a weaker sex. We're not.
Now hold on. Now, before
Some
we
of
go to
them are.
Yvonne,
Okay.
before we go to Yvonne,
Some of them
before
are.
we go to Yvonne, my question to you is: so, would you say that you're actually proud of the way your son is with women?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
I was saying before we move on to you, for you to answer that question, my question for Tony is: so, with that being said, are you proud of how your son is with the way he carries himself with women?
Um.
No. That's for Tony. I want to know
Oh,
if she's proud of how he is grown up and treated women with based off of
now
how
I
she raised
am.
him.
Okay, so let me preface this, okay? Because I'm not one to get on here and sugarcoat or do anything like that, okay?
I know.
So there had been a period where basically, I think that the influx of him being involved in the music and writing and the industries and all, it's a different level of respect. It's really no respect if you ask me, because
Right.
of how women are uh, put out there. They're called out their names. They are used in certain ways, when it comes to writing music and delivering music. So in those ways, I think that what I taught him almost took a side seat in order to be what he wanted to do, or do what he wanted to do when it comes to music. Does he disrespect, like the girl he's with? Does he disrespect her? No, he does not disrespect her. But when we talk about, media and deliverance of music and things like that, yes, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
But how he has turned out to be, as far as with this woman that he's with and has a baby and all of that, yeah, I'm glad of the way he's turned out. It took some adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, I was noticing some of the posts that he was putting up, and it was about change basically. And in reading some of the things that he was saying, I could tell that there is now a level of maturity that is starting to take over.
Okay.
So he's understanding that some things you just can't say. Some things you got to pull back on. You got to push out the way. That makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. So what about you, Yvonne? What would you say you did different, or because of went through with men? How would you say that again?
You're breaking up on my end.
Girl, you need to pay your bill then.
How's it her bill?
Why you always got to have her back, Tony? Damn, it be one time I just be wanting you to just be quiet and watch the show.
What?
Anyways,
did he just
Yvonne,
say that?
I'm Tony. I'm done with you tonight. We on opposite ends tonight. So Yvonne, like I was saying,
no. I want to know. First of all, your picture.
She can't act right for long. Go ahead.
First of all, your picture is distorted, and I cannot. I said on my end.
Oh.
Ain't got nothing about paying no damn bill.
I know you better get that tone together.
I know you better
get that tone together.
I think you better know your face right now.
Oh, girl. You better get yourself, girl.
I'm a grown ass woman, so I need you to
Oh my God.
Look. What is going on there?
Oh my God. Go ahead, Yvonne, make your comment.
I think you better. I think we need to change the subject and go someplace else.
Hey, Miss Jacqueline.
Okay. So basically, all I was saying is men. If women are saying that they're going through this with all men, it's one of those things where it's like, if you see that this is what you're going through, what differences do you try to put into your children? What values are you trying to show them that you see that most men lack in?
I try to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
So when my kids were small, there was no whole bunch of traffic coming in and out of my house. Did I have friends come over? Sure I did. but it wasn't to the effect where they would see what was going on. And I think I mentioned this in another show. If that was something I needed to do, I went outside my house to do it. But
Right.
um, and like Tony said, you just try to teach them morals, respect, and hopefully it'll catch on. I mean, any relationships that you get into, there are adjustments, there's altercations, there's arguments, but for the most part, they are, they're all wonderful men.
All right. So I have Jacqueline on the line. So I'm going to bring Jacqueline in. Be nice, Chris.
Oh, that's Jacqueline. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Jacqueline, you're on Hot Topics Talk Radio TV.
Hey, hi. How's everybody doing?
Hi,
Doing
Jacqueline.
great.
Yeah, this seems to be pretty much an extension of like 2 weeks ago. And I just simply reiterate the same thing because I swear the feminist movement really sold us the goods on, we have to be like men. But, I mean, there is a power in being womanly.
It is. I believe that.
There's power in that. And that's something I just really had to learn for myself. I don't have to act like a man. I mean, it's really a choice you really got to make.
Mm-hmm.
Just by mind, you be in that man's position, you're going to be treated like a man.
Right.
Right.
It's like we play both sides. You can't play both sides.
Right. Right.
And if you want to be treated like a woman, you need to be womanly.
Right. Right.
Because I'm really learning when we go and lead in that man's position, that's who he sees. He sees a man.
Mm-hmm.
We carry on in that position, and then we want to wonder why we don't get doors open for us and all that.
Right.
But that,
she's a man.
Jackie, can I?
That's what I'm learning. I can be womanly and be respected.
Right.
I can come all in my womanness, and I don't have to, prove like I'm this and that. No, the proof is already there as you carry on in your position.
All right. So Yvonne, I think wanted to comment.
You know what? I agree with you, Jackie. We women do have to act like women, and maybe I kind of put myself into a different light, just because I had to be in a role that I didn't particularly care to be put in. I had to care for my family. So that means that I had to use whatever means I had in order to succeed in raising my kids. Now, did I act like a man? I don't think I acted like a man. I get doors open all the time for me. I get flirted with by men. I flirt with men, and I don't think my femininity was set aside just because I am a controlling woman. So, I can put myself in any role that I need to be put in. But being a woman, that's what I was born as, a woman. And I want to be treated as one, whether it's in a relationship or in my house. But I demand respect from whomever I'm with, and that includes my kids.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you got, Miss Jacqueline?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for letting me come on.
All right. Well, I'm
Thank
so
you for
glad
always
that you're here.
joining.
It's always good to hear from you. All right. So finish listening to the show, and I'm hoping you're enjoying it so far.
Oh, I am. I always do. Love you. Love you.
Yeah.
Oh, we love you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But see, one thing I liked when you were doing your promo, Tara was saying just as far as how sometimes there are some women that carry that hurt and from their previous relationships and don't even know it. And I think a lot of times that's where a lot of people, I won't even say men or women, I'll just say within both, they're both running into situations like that where everyone is hurt from their past. And it's like an identity crisis. Like they're trying to figure out who they are without losing ground.
Right.
And that's where I say, because I've watched, to me, I love a strong woman. I've never had a problem with a strong woman. Like for me, I wouldn't mind having a woman that's going to put me in my place when I'm out of pocket. Because guess what? If I know that she has my back like that, I'm gonna listen to her because I know she has my best interest at heart. So at the end of the day, I would rather have a woman that's gonna check me and say certain things when it's time versus a woman that's gonna just sit back and let me do whatever I want to do. But I also want to make sure that, because I'll tell you right now, I've seen one of the sexiest things I've ever seen is a woman that's in a situation where she is pissed off and watching how she carries herself, how she doesn't allow her emotions to take over her. As men, we're very prideful. We have a lot of pride in us. So most of the time when we get mad, we're ready to lash out, talk back, do all kind of stuff. Whereas when you can see a really strong woman, she gonna sit there and just look at you. You can barely read her.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
You know what? We're talking so much about, what the bad things about a woman, a strong woman. You have men that motivate, women that motivate their men.
Mm-hmm.
You have some men need that motivation for, they said that behind every strong man there's a woman.
Yeah.
And some men need to have that little push in order to help motivate him into doing what he's maybe always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And see, and that's the part that comes from a strong woman, because a woman that does not possess that kind of quality, then you can't consider that a strong woman, because a man does need to be uplifted.
Yeah.
And when things go to shit, he needs to have someone that's going to be in charge, someone who is bossy, somebody that is assertive, that is going to start to hold things down until the shit starts coming back together.
Exactly.
So in a lot of ways, a man will say, no, I don't like an opinionated woman. She can't be bossy. She can't do this. She can't do that. Because she's got to lead, I got to lead her, and I got to be the one that makes all the decisions. Well, what happens when you have that woman that don't know nothing about writing a check, paying off bills? What happens when shit is going wrong with the car and you can't be the one that goes and takes it or even fixes it, and she has to be the one that goes and takes it to the dealership?
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. It's more women in the world that don't know more of their duties and how to handle business than most men. I'll say that a lot of men play games and they don't know how to take care of a good woman. I'll give you that on to a certain extent. But it's a lot of women out here that don't handle their business as well. So when you have those situations, you can't expect a man to treat. So it's kind of like if you have a woman that goes to a club all the time, she hangs out, can't cook, barely washes, does household stuff, but wants to be treated like this fancy woman or like a true queen. Like, how can a man do that? Like, the values have to be there on both ends. I mean, we can go back and forth as far as men do this, men do that, women do this, women do that. But at the end of the day, the values have to match on both ends. And when it doesn't, that's usually when you have a conflict of interest. And that's why you get the games being played, because somebody is not happy within that situation.
True. I mean, I had I've never changed oil in my life. So I asked my kid's father, I was like, hey, can you please change the oil in my car? Okay.
It's the fact you had to ask.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, asked him again, when are you going to change the oil in my car? Yvonne, I said I'm going to get to it. So I'm like,
Wow.
I went out there and changed my
With
own oil.
yourself. Yep.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I went under there. Saw the little pan with a screw under there, so I took my screwdriver and started screwing it off. I nailed the pan there. I mean, I'd seen it done before.
Right. Right.
So,
But you know what?
Yvonne ready to mess
real
up your
though.
car just to prove a point.
No, but that's real.
yeah,
That's real.
that
Because
is.
women, a lot of times you don't have, either you don't have a man that can do those things, or it is that you have a man that you can't depend on them to do those things.
Exactly.
So if you get to a point where you've asked him, where you even said, Chris, you shouldn't have to ask.
You
But if
should.
you get to the point where, you know, you've asked and you've asked again, and you get into that third and fourth time that you have to ask,
But see,
and either you're gonna have to go take it and do it, get it done by someone, or you have to do it yourself.
But I'll explain to you though. In that situation right there, it's something that you allowed from the beginning to even let him feel comfortable to just not even offer.
No,
to
you
say
don't
that.
know. You know,
Not necessarily.
that's probably, that could be the case.
No,
but you
no,
don't
because
know
the
what
question
you
is,
know.
how long were you with him
He's a
in that
total. He
situation?
was a total asshole. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
He was just a total asshole. He wouldn't do nothing around the house. So I mean, this was not something we were renting.
But this is my thing though. You had to have had that time period to know who he was before it got to that point. So what I'm saying is that you saw something right off the back within that man to where you allowed it, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing and doing less.
This man was a mechanic.
That
He
makes it worse.
was. He
Yeah.
he had taken cars apart. I mean, not a certified mechanic, but he had taken
No,
cars
I know what you mean.
apart, put them back together again, restored Corvettes and Mustangs, and all I asked was a simple. And I never
Or an oil change.
oil change.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. So when you asked him to do that, and then you said you asked him again, are we talking about within the same day, or are we saying like you asked him one day, then have to come back another day and ask that again?
It was separate days.
Separate days. So were you asking because? And I
It
only
don't
ask this
matter
because.
how I was asking. I
Well,
asked.
no, but hear me out. Hear me out. The reason why I'm asking why you asked is because, like you said, he was kind of like a mechanic. He could take cars apart, all that kind of stuff. So my thing was, when you were asking for when you were asking for your oil to be changed, what was the reason? Was the car running funny? Was there something going on with it, or you just wanted the oil change?
I wanted the oil changed.
It's supposed to be changed at a certain period.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
So it's obvious she was keeping up with the oil changes.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
Well, the reason why I asked is because it could have been one of those situations where he like, the car running fine, it ain't that big of a deal. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. And she was kind of like asking again, and he like, well, look, I told you I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. I mean, bottom line is, whether he know how to do it, don't know how to do it, got to take it somewhere. At the end of the day, he just didn't feel like doing it. Now, the reason why I asked is because I'm like, okay, if the car running funny, if something going on with that car, and that's why you kept asking and he not doing it, yeah, that's bad. But at the end of the day, if nothing was wrong with that car, there was no sense of urgency.
This is a good comment. I got to read this. So Ms. Jacqueline says, I can't put it up, Ms. Jacqueline, because it's a little lengthy. I'll show you why. Well, we can kind of, okay. So she says you have men who don't know how to be men as well. Some single mothers taught their sons how to be the man of their household instead of being the man of his own household.
Well, see, you know what? And I cannot relate to that because I don't know how his mother, father raised him because I never met him. But all I can say is now, as far as me raising my sons, no, they don't. They ain't nothing like him. Nothing. No, thank God. But no, I mean, it's just, it wasn't an urgency on changing the oil, Chris. It was something
Mm-hmm.
that needed to be done. I mean, after you've gone about 10,000 miles on the last oil change, it's time to get another oil change so that
5,000 miles.
For the life of the car.
so it won't blow up or do whatever it do when the oil is black and so it needed an oil change. And when I'd say it was black, it was black.
Okay. The only thing is, you going out there to take it apart probably wouldn't have been the best thing to do either, because, like you said, you seen it done, but you didn't really know what you were doing.
But I did
You
it.
could have caused more damage than.
But I did it. And at that time
Not
we
the point, but
at that time we didn't
okay.
have Google, so I had to use my own intuition on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed the oil. I have changed water faucets in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I have put together stuff, bicycles and stuff, because he just was never around.
Yeah.
So
Right off the bat.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though. So with knowing that Yvonne had to change her own oil, and Brian, good comment. He says that if you asked, he should have just done it,
Mm-hmm.
or tell you when he could. So good comment. But the question is, knowing that Yvonne had to change her oil, all right? Mm-hmm. She had to do something that is supposed to be strictly something that men would do, right, theoretically, okay?
Yeah.
And this is for the other men who are listening. Would you find that being appealing or sexy that a woman can get out there and change her own oil?
Yes.
That is sexy.
But at the same time, for me, it would bother me because it's kind of like a shot to my manhood, because she had to step up and do something that I should have did.
I agree with that.
To me, it's sexy because she knows how to do it. Like, damn, you go, girl. But at the same time, it's kind of like, like that. I'm gonna give you an example. I want to see if y'all think I'm wrong for this. So, because it also depends on certain situations too. Like Tony, I was in a marriage for a very long time. So, within being in, let's just say, a relationship for a very long time, you run into all type of situations with cars, situations with your household, things breaking down. Like, you run into those situations throughout those years. So we had a situation where one of the tires had a slow leak. Now, it wasn't slow to where the whole tire was just like flat, but you could just tell it was losing air really slow. Right. So, like, if I put air in it right now, probably by this time tomorrow night, it was going to be very low. It wouldn't be flat, but it'd be very low. Right. So I'm in the house, I'm watching a playoff football game, and it's like I said, I think it was like one of the NFC Championship games or something like that. So it's a real good game. So I get this, she comes home and she tells me, hey, I think the tire has a slow leak. Now, I've been in this relationship for a real long time. So my thing is, how many times have we had a slow leak in a tire? You already know. You take that thing right off to Pep Boys, any of these little shops right here, they're going to take a look at it, put a $25 patch on it, send you on your way. We've already seen that it's not a leak on the side of the tire. So at the end of the day, we know it has to be something within the middle of the tire. You'd have seen this at least 5 to 6, maybe 8 times. I was upset with her for, instead of understanding that, here, this is my team, I'm watching my game, she came home to ask me to go take it to the shop and get that patch on there. Now, of course, I did it. I jumped right up, took it to the shop, got it put on, but I was pissed off because I said, why? Because like I said, I wanted to watch the game. She had to go somewhere, so I had to say, you know what? I gotta leave the game, gotta get this taken care of for her so she can go and get this taken care of. But I was more mad because I said it would have been nice if she maybe could have took the initiative of already knowing how this is done. Because like I said, she's been there with me plenty of times. It would have been nice if she could have at least made an attempt or even called and said, hey, this is the situation before I come home. Right. You want me to bring it? Like, give some type of option versus just, here, this is what you do, so take care of it. Because at the end of the day, the roles are not the same as back in the day. All of our roles are twisted now. You have women doing things that men do. You have men doing things that women do. So you really can't say, well, that's the man's job. But I was upset with
I get it. You know what? I have to agree with you. I do. I have to agree. That's why
it tastes like shit. Don't worry about it.
Because I was thinking about it. And no, serious. I have to agree with you because I don't know. If I had known it was a slow leak, okay, before I even got home, of course, I would call my man and say, you know what, this tire is a little low. I think we, didn't it get fixed on or blah, blah, blah. What do you suggest I do? Do I come home? Do you want to take care of it? Or should I do it while I'm out? I mean, that would be my
and I would have loved that.
Well, wait a minute. No. So why couldn't you just say, hey, babe, look, this tire has a slow leak. It's been leaking for a long time. I'm already out. I'm going to go and take it up to the shop. And
that's basically what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying, but you're still
asking him, should you do that or not?
No, but you're still allowing him to understand, and because maybe he wants to do something about it. You don't know.
Okay, then
so you have to consult with your husband.
When I say, okay, I'm already out, I'm gonna go ahead and take it up to the thing. If he wanted to do it, like, okay, no, baby, that's okay. I'll take it up there. You just come on home. I'll take it to the shop and get it repaired.
That's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
No,
it's the same thing.
No. You're not.
Because you're still calling.
Y'all are not listening.
Is she scolding us?
Yes, she is.
I said I will call him and say, look, the tire has a leak in it. And I'm gonna, while I'm out, I'm gonna take it and get it fixed. If he wanted to do it, he would say, no, babe, you come home. I will go back out
I agree.
up there.
I agree.
So you were saying, okay, well, should I do it? You're asking, you're saying, should
you
I?
Almost said it. You almost said it. You're asking permission.
Yeah.
It's not permission.
What Tony was saying is she gonna put it out there to give him the option to see what he wants to do.
What he wants.
It's just like you just said with that.
It's the same thing. It's just worded differently.
Yeah.
But if he's gonna do it and you say that you're already out, he's gonna say, no, that's okay. You come home. I will take it back up there and do it. Or he'll say, okay, well, since you're out, go ahead and do it.
Tony, she ain't listening. But seriously, y'all said the same thing. Y'all said the same
No, we didn't.
We did.
No, we didn't. No, you did not.
And the end result was the same.
Yeah.
The end result was the same, but the wording was different.
We'll put it like this. I'll tell you right now. You did what the slick women normally do. You put it out there so you can watch and see how the man gonna respond. It was the same thing. It was the same exact
thing. The wording was different.
Wording, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, the same outcome was there. Okay. You wanted to see if he would step up and do it.
It's just like saying let and allow.
But look at you. Don't go back to that word.
Why are we wordsmithing here?
Don't even go back there.
I know.
But seriously though, it wasn't that I was mad because I thought she should have done it. I was just more mad because I said, at the end of the day, you've seen this done a number of times. It would have been nice if you had maybe made the attempt or even offered to say, hey, I know you watching the game. When I left, you was really into it. Okay, cool. I got to go somewhere, so I can take it right now, or you might have to leave the game and take it. And I would have been like, oh, man, damn. But you know what? I'm going to always do my job because at the end of the day, that's what I know to do. But at the same time, it just would have been nice to see the attempt.
Well, see, my thing.
Well,
my thing is that if I see something that needs to be done, as I said before, it's embedded in me. When I see something that needs to be done, it's like, okay, I go and do it. If I need a flat fixed, take it to the shop and fix it.
So how is that going to transfer into a relationship that you might get into?
Well, I'll call and tell them where I am.
It ain't going to. It ain't going to, or you're gonna have to find somebody that's really okay.
But don't you think that he's going to think that that's too bossy?
Mm-hmm.
So did I say at the top of the show, that's why I'm still single?
No, I know. But she asked the question on what would happen if you do get into a relationship. And I said it wouldn't transfer. The only way it will work is if you have a man that's okay with not allowing you to emasculate him. That's the only way it will work, because your actions are more
emasculating a man to go and get the tire fixed.
It's not about doing the actual outcome of the job. It's about the way you go about it. You show a man you don't need him. You basically make him feel like he's not needed. And if you're not here today, oh well, it's still gonna get done.
Wait. You know what? Something just popped into my head that was told to me a long time ago. I was told, and you're right, Chris. You are right. Oh, you are right.
Tony, she hated that moment.
Wait a minute.
She hated that moment. Hey, hold on, Tony. Hold on, Yvonne. When you do the Saturday recap, please do an instant replay on that over and over. I need to see that. Go ahead, Yvonne.
I was told that, okay, so I can't remember it verbatim, but I was told that I treated him like a dildo. I use him and then put it on the shelf until I'm ready for it again.
Are you kidding me?
No. When Chris said that popped into my head. I was actually told that I treated him like a dildo. I used it. When I was finished with it, put it on the shelf until next time. I'm like, damn.
So now I'm glad you said that too, because this is proof that this is how women can be hard on men, and how you can turn a man into an asshole after he has to deal with something like that. So when the man goes through something like that, I'm gonna tell you like this: the worst thing that can happen for that man is for him to get confidence. Because the only thing he gonna do is knock down every single woman in his path, and he is not gonna care about her at all. And it is your fault, not you, Yvonne, but women's fault. Because when you do that to a man, you have no idea what you have turned him into. So, like I said, you feel bad for yourself. You crying and all the men treat us like shit. Well, you got a little help from your women folk too. So, congratulations, y'all on the same team.
So when Yvonne had her epiphany,
Tony, here we go. Oh.
Oh my God!
Oh God!
I'll talk to you offline about how that tastes.
I really wish I could do a replay on that, because that, like, I'm sure that came over like tasting vinegar, didn't it?
It did.
She hated it. Thank you for my treat.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
And I have to say, I'm being honest. You know, it's true. It is true, and that's just, you know what? When you ask a man to do something over and over and over again, it gets to a point where you just say, "Well, fuck it, I'll do it myself."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so and then you get this in your head. Why you kind of keep asking, him to, and maybe I'm stereotyping here, but it's like, why do I keep having to ask a man to do something for me when I can do it myself?
So let me ask you this question. It's like, because we're running down on time, and this is like so funny to me. But so after you have gotten this ingrained in yourself, and you start getting used to doing things on your own for yourself, at what point do you go to him and ask him to help you with something, or do you not?
Well, you know what? It got to a point where I didn't ask him to do anything for me anymore.
Did he offer?
Oh, that asshole never offered anything.
But see, that's the thing though. When a woman take over like that, most men gonna take advantage
But
of
you
that.
know what? If he had played his, maybe I'm using this wrong, but if he had played his role, it wouldn't have been like that.
True, but
True.
also at the same time, if you hadn't accepted it from the beginning,
But you allowed
you
it.
would have never
Okay,
got to that point.
Okay, so what was I supposed to have done?
You were supposed to check that shit right away. I'll tell you right now. And this is why it's sad you got to get older to understand how to really handle and how to be in relationships. All that BSing in the beginning of the relationship and we don't argue and all that shit. Because all that do is lead up to dumb stuff later on.
Exactly.
That's why I say
said we didn't argue. We argued all the time.
Hold on, time out. Then you was the fool for staying in the shit.
But Chris, he did not live with me.
But you put up with it, and we talking about it tonight.
I'm talking about it today. We bought a house together, but he lived on one side of town. I lived on the other.
All I'm saying, and it's not pertaining to just your situation. It's just women in general. If you see it from the beginning, pull out.
I can't speak on women in general. I can speak on me. And yeah, I put up with it because at the time, I thought I was in love. And
was that something like?
That
was a downplay.
That was definitely one of them moments.
But the thing was is that we had kids together. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he will come to his senses.
Shit.
And be the man, the father that he is supposed to be.
If they're not doing it in the beginning.
Tony, we all there's
but the
only problem is you take no responsibility when you had all the signs in the world to see it.
Yeah, I'm taking the responsibility. Yeah, it is my fault. Whatever happened before I had the rude awakening, that was on me because I allowed all that to happen.
But at the same time, just to clear that up, so in a sense, you shouldn't really be too bitter over that situation or how he treated you, because at the same time, it's what you kind of allowed. So
it was a learning experience for me, because that was just my second relationship.
Oh,
okay. I mean, we're talking about I was young.
Yeah, so I'm up here thinking we talking about few men involved. We talking about early in your life.
Yeah. So, but so I it's something that I learned. I'm not bitter behind that. It's something that I can look back and say, well, this happened and that happened, and I can laugh about it now.
But you bitter though.
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm bitter over is not what he and I went through. It's what the neglect on his kids. That's what I'm bitter about.
Well, when I say bitter, I don't mean like over like him. I mean with the
bitter of the relationship.
You carry the bitterness of the bullshit that you've been through with men. Tony, am I lying?
No. I don't. I'm not bitter about any of my relationships.
Tony, whenever you got to look the guy that long,
well, but she's saying, but wait, because she's saying she separated them.
Yeah.
If I'm getting this right, she's saying that she separated it. So it wasn't that she was bitter or angry or upset that their relationship failed. So she was bitter at the fact and upset that he did not treat his children right.
So like I said,
two separate things.
Stay with what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's bitter about the relationship. That's what I just said. I'm saying she's bitter over a lot of situations she's been in with men that makes her think a certain way. I'm not going off of her relationships. I'm going off of the things she has said to me.
No, I am not. I'm not. I say I am an independent woman because of what I had to play the role of mother and father.
Right.
But that's not making me bitter because I had to play that role or those two roles. I'm not bitter over the relationship. He and I talk today, to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But it only our conversation, and I feel for him because of his health. But as far as being, you know, upset because our relationship, that was the best thing that didn't happen. That we ended, or the best thing that happened that we ended the relationship, or I
Right.
ended it. Uh, my other relationship, we still talk every once in a while. So no, I'm not bitter. I'm just I got into a mode where I'm just independent. I don't, and it's just that's the way I am.
So I'll paint this picture and I'll leave it alone. And this is why most women that are in your shoes, where they're saying the whole independent thing, we see it totally different. So I expected Tony to see it, but at the same time, I can't get her to see it from a male's perspective because she's a female, I'm a male. So at the end of the day, from a
Duh.
male's perspective, if we listen to what you're saying or how this is played out, it will come off more bitter. And the problem is most women that are real strong and independent like that, that's normally how most men perceive their attitudes and
Okay.
their actions like that.
So I can understand the perception. I do. Okay. I understand the perception from a man's point of view. But does the man understand a perception or get the idea of why women have the attitudes that they do when it comes to relationships or how to deal with men?
So I'm gonna tell you like my pastor used to tell me. The problem is we spend too much time focusing on other people when we should focus on ourselves. So instead
That
of
is very
asking a
true.
question on if the men understand what the women are thinking, why don't you guys try to figure out what you're going through first and let the men do that? And hopefully at the end, it'll play out correctly. But if we
Yeah.
spend time looking at everybody else, it's not going to fix the situation. You can't fix somebody. They
Yeah,
have to
you
fix
can't
themselves.
look at everybody's
Yeah.
situation because the circumstances of everybody's situation is going to be different. I mean, ultimately, it could be the same problem, but how you get to that is going to be different. The circumstances of how you get to that problem is completely different.
Right.
Everybody has a different way of feeling about certain things and reacting to certain things and how that problem came about, how it festered, if it was something that festered or was it something that was thrown in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, you can have the same situation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the circumstances of how you got there is completely different.
Right.
And you can't base your experiences on someone else's experience and how it played out or how it resolved. You have to only fix what you can in your own situation.
That's
and then whether or not, a woman or a man feels that the other is bitter or angry or whatever, what does it have to do with you if you're not part of that situation?
Exactly.
Because obviously you're bitter about something or you're mad about something in your own life. Then fix it.
Exactly. And there's a lot of men that are. So
Yeah. So we always think that, the women are the ones that are bitter, but men are angry too.
Definitely. I agree.
It's about past relationships on how people have treated you, mistreated you, disrespected you, emasculated you. It could be any number of reasons, but they don't want to fix it. They move right on into the next relationship and they carry the same bullshit that they took from the last one into the new one.
It happens all the time.
Yep. All right. So guess what? We're over.
I see.
Look at my baby. Can you see it?
Tony, we can't see that.
Oh,
There we go.
She's sleeping. Chris just sent me a picture. So anyway, we're done. Where'd Chris go?
It's right there.
I don't see him.
I see it.
Nobody else can see him. Can anybody else see him?
Tony done got me.
I don't see him.
Oh, yeah,
He's gone.
He's here.
No, it's a black screen on my end.
Well, I don't know what you did, but
What's the black man in this screen too?
I don't think I did anything. Let me see if it catches up on this side. Let me see. Because I am on Facebook. Let's see if he shows up. I don't think so. Chris.
Yes.
I can't even hear him. Do you hear him?
Yeah, I hear him. I see him too.
I don't. Chris, go out and come back in.
All right.
Now he's gone. Now for good. OMG. Oh, Jacqueline said he sees him. I didn't see him. And that's the bad part. If I can't see him, then I can't hear him. I don't know what the hell happened.
Is he
There's
coming?
that face. These allergies are killing me. So
You see him now?
I see him now.
I see what y'all doing to me. It's okay.
There him is.
It's okay. I knew when Trump got in the office it was gonna be some bullshit. It's okay.
What the hell? Really? Oh my God. Anyway, so anybody have a last thought?
You know what? I think we kind of got a little bit off what I had in mind, but only thing I can say is it's okay to be independent, but when you're in a relationship, that partner needs to have your moral support. You've got to be in that person's corner 100%, and he in yours. And just whatever we deal with, you can't bring your past to your present. So just be in your man's corner. It's okay to be a boss bitch, but just figure out who you gonna boss. Anyway, yeah, that's what
I'll go with the boss part. I don't particularly like the bitch part because I'm trying to change some things.
That's just a dog in heat.
Oh my God. So we are going to say thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We really did enjoy the conversation. I know that we'll come back and do this again. I really do.
No, come back and do this again. Not anytime soon.
Oh my God. So Yvonne, you got a show that you've got an idea for next week.
Yeah. It's about I heard on the TV this afternoon about 53 doing transsexuals from the military.
These allergies are killing me.
from the military, and
yeah,
that is, I mean, this man is just, and I know this might be something a political, for the political show. I don't know, but it is.
Well, I mean, it's not so much as a political show because it's something that I think that people of transgender deal with every day. And it's just not from a political standpoint. So even though that, we want to do the show, and I think it's a good topic. Yeah. I think that even though that, we want to do the show, that of course, like we were saying before we came on air, there's a level of sensitivity that we have to be able to use, but we have to show the parallels that it's just not the military, because this man is actually setting the tone for the U.S. on how we treat people that are of transgender. So I think that it's not just a political issue, it's a human issue. And we'll treat it as such, so I think it's a good show. I think it's a good show.
I agree.
All right. So I'm going to take me and my allergies out of this show.
Sneezy. Call it wheezy. You've been sneezing all night.
Leave me alone.
But you did it so beautifully.
All right. So you've been tuned into Real World. Hot Topics Talk Radio TV with me, Yvonne Baker, and Mr. Chris Smith. Make sure that you follow us here on Facebook under Hot Topics Talk Radio, and make sure that you head on over to our website at hottopictalkradio.com, as well as YouTube under Hot Topics Talk Radio Network, so that you can catch up on some of the past shows. We do really appreciate your continued support and you tuning in each week. We are here every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. At the beginning of the week, we'll be back on top again here under the Hot Topics Talk Radio Network with Real World News TV. So until then, we bid you a good night, a fantastic rest of your week, and a fabulous weekend.
Yes.
And we see you next week.
Yay. Any plans for the weekend?
Sleep.
Right?
All right. We'll get you sleep out.
All right. Good night, ladies. Have a good night.
Thanks for the show, you
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. We are now clear. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everybody, and take care. Have a fantastic weekend and be safe. We love you. Good night.